can I actually save money by driving my Stage 2 BMW 440i on Eco Pro mode for over a week? For some reason, some wild reason, I want to try it out. So let's go ahead and rock through the results. All right, bro, we are now in the whip. First day running Eco Pro for a week. Here's the results so far. I just drove home from work. I'm starting it in the afternoon. So let me show you guys. So it looks like we've added 1.1 miles to the car as far as range goes. So we'll see what this looks like throughout the week. I'm actually pretty intrigued to see what this looks like throughout a whole entire week of me driving around, getting things done. Do we really add some substantial range here that you can actually save money? This is for you guys who are trying to justify getting a car like this, right? Does it make sense? Could you save some money if you need to while you're driving this thing around? Let's see. This is only day one. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, so I figured it was probably a good idea to explain sort of what is Eco Pro mode and why is it so important and why does it save you money, right? And don't mind my dirty car. It's winter. Salt is everywhere. It's crazy. I washed this thing yesterday and it already looks like this. Insane. So I asked AI to help me out with the explanation of what does Eco Pro mode do. I asked it to explain it to me like a 5-year-old. So really what it's saying is the car is like a big, powerful horse. When you put it in Eco Pro mode, it's going to tell that horse, save some of your power. So that way you can run a little bit more efficiently. You can save that energy. That's in simplest terms. Now diving a bit deeper, more technical, what does it do? There seems to be about 5 major things it does on my car for this model year. And this is a 2017. The first thing is throttle mapping. It's going to slow down just how much acceleration or request is asking from the engine when you push on the gas pedal in the beginning. Second is the transmission strategy. It's going to tell the transmission to shift a lot sooner so that way it's not using up so much power. Now with that, in coasting mode, this is actually going to decouple the transmission from the engine so that way it can sort of coast and freewheel. It's not using up that engine power going to the transmission and accelerating the tires. Very, very different than anything I've ever seen before. Next up is the auto start stop. It's going to be more aggressive with starting the car up, turning it off, things like that. So that way it can save more energy. This thing all the way goes up to your HVAC system. So your air conditioning will actually be less powerful. It's going to slow that down so it's less stress on the engine. So it can save you a little bit of energy there as well. So you're saving fuel. It even says your heated seats may operate at a lower temperature or sensitivity to save that power. And then last but not least, on the alternator, when you go to slow down, it's going to increase that charging load. And then when you're accelerating, it's going to decrease it. This should save you fuel in the long run. Let's see how it does. 2 things I want to apologize for. First, your boy had to grab something to eat. I was starving. But second, that footage on day 1 did not look good, right? It was dark outside. I was recording with my iPhone's front camera. Isn't cutting it. Just wanted to apologize for that at first. Anyways, this Taco Bell is slapping. All right, so I just filled up, putting this thing back in the eco mode right now. Let's see where we're at. So it resets, we were at 1.8 miles plus. So something to keep in mind. I'll make sure I add that at the end of this thing. All right, so your boy's back at the crib. Took the car, got it washed. You know how we got to keep that thing clean. But the biggest thing that I'm noticing right now is honestly, it's just a lack of throttle response, right? It feels like I'm driving a 4-banger, not an inline 6 with a turbo on it. But other than that, I mean, it really feels like a regular economy vehicle when you have it in this mode. I am missing the power though. It's going to be really hard to make it through the rest of these 7 days because with the power gone, it definitely feels like it's missing something. And you guys already know with all that power that we have at our disposal normally, just missing that little bit of power makes a big difference, Oh yeah, and then one other thing I almost forgot to say. It feels like it coasts so much more. Like when you're cruising, because it doesn't downshift as much, it's just rolling in the speed you're at. So I see that I have to actually press on my brake more often because it's coasting and I'm getting close to the cars in front of me. That's just one thing that I've noticed. All right, so it is now day 5. Your boy is not driving that much. We actually drove out this weekend. I'm gonna drop some videos of me and Shawty. We was out, we had a good dinner, celebrating that, you know, February 14th, all of that. It was a good weekend. Let me show you guys what it's looking like. We did not drive this car when we went out to dinner. We drove my wife's RAV4. Let me show you guys what we're looking like after I just drove to work today and back home. So as you can see, we're at plus 2.1 miles. That's gonna be reflective of me going and getting gas in the whip, things like that, setting it back down to 0. But we're at plus 2.1 miles. Not a crazy amount I'm seeing here, man. I don't even know why you wanna drive in eco mode. I'm gonna keep you guys updated, like I said. Now it's at this point where I'm really starting to regret my decisions, right? I'm looking and I'm like, bro, this thing got no power whatsoever. I don't know if this was a good choice to make. But then I started to think, let's trust in the process and let's see what we end up with. I almost canceled the video right here. I was like, there's no way I got my car, all of this power, to be driving this slow, bro. Throttle response is down, all of those things. Stick around, we'll see how much money we saved. We got a couple more days to go here, so maybe we'll see an improvement, maybe we won't. I mean, you guys let me know if that's worthwhile to you. I'm noticing a lot less throttle response, more lag, trying to get up in traffic and move around. It's moving a lot slower. So at this time right now, I'm not seeing the benefit, but you never know. If we do this for like a month, you might see some savings. All right, so this is one of my most busiest driving days that I do, right? And I'm gonna show you guys what I'm looking like right now as far as mileage goes in the whip. So right now we're early in the morning. I'm at plus 3.7 miles right now. And if you look over here to the right, if I'm going on the gas, this is gonna go up. It's gonna be putting in power. Now, when I slow down or I'm coasting, it's gonna go right there into the middle. And then if I'm pressing on the brake, it's gonna go over here and that's gonna be charging. Let me show you guys this. So right now it's showing power because I'm moving. If I take my foot off the gas, we go right into this middle neutral mode. If I press on the brake, it's gonna start to charge. And that's pretty much how it works. It starts to add up mileage for you to say how much better you're doing on gas based off of how much you're putting out, how much you're braking. All of those different things really impacts how much more mileage is adding to the car as far as miles per gallon. I will say I'm seeing my miles per gallon all the way to the right going up a bit. This was at 21.1 earlier. Now it's at 21.2. And a couple days ago, before I started doing this, it was at 21.0. So I guess we're seeing some kind of improvement. Nothing crazy though, nothing crazy. I'm gonna keep you guys tuned in as I finish up the day here. And when I get home later, I'll show you guys what kind of mileage we added. I should also mention you have this screen that you can use. So like right now I'm on the gas, so it's showing engine running. If I take my foot off the gas, it says coasting, freewheeling. Now if I were to press on the brake, charging battery. Show you guys one more time. I'm gonna press on the brake, charging battery. And then you also have this other screen. If I go over here, it's gonna show pretty much over the last driving history what mode you were in, right? Whether it's red, gray, or blue, how much miles per gallon you're getting for each of those modes. All right, so that's the end of, I don't even know what day it is right now, but let me just show you guys what we're looking like for the plus mileage. So wrapping up the day, we're at plus 4.4 miles of range that we've added to the vehicle, which isn't too bad, but it also isn't super crazy or any big difference that I'm seeing here. We got one more day before we wrap this thing up, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll let you guys know where we end up at. So after all that, we ended up at a 21.4 miles per gallon, plus 5.8 miles. So a decent amount of miles added. All right, let's try to do a quick pull in this mode. Okay. The car still got it. It's shifting super early though. Super early. So everything's not there. Everything's not there, but it sounded a little strange when it was shifting. It was like, pss, pss, like real short. Okay. The car still, but as you can see, it still got some get up and go if you need to. Let me see. Little something. Bro, after doing those two pulls, this thing dropped instantly down to plus 5.4. So that's after driving it for a week, son. Plus 5.4 miles added to the range. Not too crazy a gains there, but you can see I don't drive that often. If I were driving more and more, and if you did this over months and years and things like that, it could really add up into some savings for you. All right, so I am now back in the whip after we just had a little Corvette car meet. I'll drop some photos right here or video of us in the car meet real quick. But let's go do some math and figure out how much money we saved. All right, I wrote all this stuff down here. Let me see if I can walk through this. So we started at 107,546 miles. We ended up at 107,683 miles. That means we drove a total of 137 miles. My miles per gallon went from 21 miles to 21.4 miles per gallon. So just doing the math on this, I took 137 miles, divided it by the 21 miles, and then I took that same 137 miles, divided it by 21.4 miles to see how many gallons were used. Now, under the first scenario of 21 miles per gallon, I used 6.52 gallons. Underneath the second scenario in Eco Pro mode, I used 6.40 gallons. Now, our cost per gallon right now is $3.32 for 93 octane. Understanding that, I took the 6.52 gallons, multiplied it by the $3.32 to say I came to a total of $21.65 I spent driving beforehand of what I would have looked like if I was not using Eco Pro mode. Now, under the new scenario, 6.4 gallons being used in Eco Pro mode times $3.32, it would have cost me a total of $21.25. So how much did we actually save from all of this? 40 cents, bruh. 40 cents. I say it's more miles per gallon. It ain't worth using Eco Pro, bruh. Get out there and hit that gas pedal, throttle it all up, because 40 cent savings over a week, not worth it. Honestly, I don't drive much, but if you drive a ton, I can see why this could be worthwhile for you. But for me, it's all about the miles per gallon, not the miles per gallon. That's just the bare minimum of what it looked like going through this experience. But one thing I did learn out of this is it got me to learn a little bit more about the car and how that throttle mapping can make such a difference of how the car feels driving in one mode versus a different mode. I honestly believe it's way worth it to keep it in Sport Plus, just to get that full experience of what you're looking for out of your B58, especially this thing being stage 2. I'm sure with the transmission tune, that's probably cost me a little bit in miles per gallon as well, but it seems like it's pretty efficient if I'm comparing that versus Eco Pro. Now, some faults that were in this analysis, right? I could have easily driven an Eco Pro for about a month or two to actually get what does that miles per gallon look like now in this mode for a longer period of time. Maybe we'll see 21.4 could jump up to 22 or 23 miles per gallon. I'm not sure. But as for me, in my personal experience, I think Sport and Sport Plus is the way to go. Anyways, I hope you guys learned something here. It was a lot of fun doing this experience. Got me to learn the car a little bit more. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because you know what I'm saying? Your boy was out here experiencing something, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Yeah, okay. What's up? I've been on a paper chase for months. I've been on a marathon for months. All in all, I can't just get